Hi, and welcome to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith, and in this video, we're going to learn the 2 to 4 player game Starcatcher, designed by Eric Olson and Ali Noriella, and published by Messy Table Games, who helped sponsor this video. Here, the cards in your hand will help you capture the cards on the table as you race to collect the most stars. And if you're falling behind, you might be able to catch a few stars using a magnet. That's just basic science, really. So join me at the table and let's learn how to play. To set up, find these double-sided green bonus cards and set them within reach of the players. All the rest of the cards have this back, which you'll shuffle into a deck. Then pick one person to be the dealer and have them deal 4 cards face up into the center of the play area. Yellow cards like this are known as magnets, and if any get dealt here, bury them into the center of the deck and then draw replacements until there are no magnets among these 4 cards. Then deal 4 cards face down to each player, and we'll assume we have 3 players in this video. After everyone has been dealt their 4 cards, put the rest of the deck face down off to the side. You can look at your own cards, but keep them a secret from the other players. And that's the setup. In Starcatcher, you and the other players will be using the cards in your hands to collect ones from the table, adding them to a personal score pile. There are 4 different types of cards in the game, so let's take a look at each of them, starting with these 12 matching double-sided bonus cards, which are in their own deck and that we set aside at the beginning. In the main deck, you'll find 36 diamond cards like these, which have a blue background and values from 1 to 10 inside a diamond-shaped outline. In the deck with these, you'll also find 12 circle cards, which have a red background and values from 1 to 10 inside a circle outline. Finally, the deck also contains these 4 yellow-backed magnet cards. Every bonus card will have a single star at the bottom, while the diamond and circle cards will have 0 to 3 stars each. Starcatcher is played over a series of turns, starting with the person seated to the left of the dealer. I like to put the box by that person as a reminder that they took the first turn, and we'll see why that can be helpful later. On your turn, you will always play 1 card from your hand face up onto the table, and then you compare its value to any cards already face up there. Why you might pick 1 card over another will make more sense once we know more of the rules, but let's take a look at an example. We'll assume our first player here picked this card to play face up from their hand. They now look to see if it matches the value of any of the other cards face up on the table. It does not have to match the type of the card, just the value. So this 8 they played matches this 8. When you have a match, take the card you played and the matching card and put both face down in front of yourself into a personal scoring pile. Looking at these cards, this one has a star, and remember, at the end of the game, you'll get a point for each star in your scoring pile, so this player just gained a point. After playing a single card and resolving it, the next person in clockwise order takes their turn, and again, on a turn, a player always plays a single card from their hand face up onto the table. Let's say they played this one. If the card that was played equals the total value of 2 or more cards on the table, you've created a sum. In this case, the 4 here plus this 1 equals the 5 that was just played. That's a sum. So now the card that was played and all of the summed cards go into this player's personal score pile, and that's going to give them a total of 4 stars. And keep in mind, a sum can be made from a total of 2 or more cards on the table. Let's pretend we had an example like this. If I played an 8 from my hand, that's the sum of 3 plus 2 plus 3, so I would put all of these cards into my score pile. Just know you can only play a single card on your turn. You cannot play 2 cards and try to match their total. So when you play a card, you're either trying to exactly match its value or find cards on the table that add together to make that value. Sometimes, though, you'll have multiple options. For example, in a case like this, if I played a 9, I could either match this 9 and take it, or sum this 5 and 4 and take those. Anytime you have multiple options like this, just pick one of them. Sometimes, though, you won't have any options, especially as more and more cards get removed from the table. Let's say it's my turn, and this is what's left on the table. I have no cards in my hand that match the value here, and there's not enough cards here to sum together to match anything in my hand, but I always have to play a card on my turn. So in a case like this, I pick any of the ones I'm holding and leave it face up on the table with the other cards there. In this way, over the course of the game, cards will be taken from the table, but also added back to it when sums and matches cannot be made. That said, there's a special card that we haven't looked at yet, the all-powerful magnet. If you play this on your turn, take every diamond on the table along with the magnet and put them all in your score pile. So in a case like this, it would give me all of these cards. A player can also play a magnet when there are no diamonds on the table to take, but in that case, they don't gain anything. They just put their magnet into their score pile, and then the next player goes. With that, we've covered all the types of cards you can play, and be aware, after playing a card, you do not draw a new one into your hand. That said, there is one other situation we should go over. After playing a card on your turn and resolving it, if you ended up taking the last card face up on the table, also take a card from this bonus deck and add it to your score pile. So if I played this 4, which is the sum of 2 and 2, I take all of these, clearing the table, and now I also get a bonus. Not only that, but the next person to go is not going to have anything to sum or match to. So if they play a number card, it'll just have to stay on the table, and then the next player goes. Also, if this bonus deck would run out, in that case, players will not receive a bonus when they clear the table. As turns get taken around and around the table, eventually everyone will run out of cards in their hand. And as soon as that happens, you stop, and the dealer now takes the deck that was set aside and deals a hand of 4 new cards to every person. But they do not add any more cards to the table. Whatever was there from the last turn stays there. Then turns continue, but this time, the next person clockwise from whoever previously took the first turn goes first. Remember, I had given the box to the previous starting player. This is so we could remember who that was. So they pass the box to their left, and now that person starts this round. In this way, each time all the cards run out in players' hands, you'll deal 4 new ones to everyone, the start player will change, and you'll keep going until the entire deck runs out and everyone has played all the cards they are holding. At that point, any cards still on the table are ignored, and you now score the round. Here, each person flips their own score pile face up and goes through it, separating cards with stars from ones without any, so it looks something like this when you're done. Now earn 1 point for every star you have, and then give 3 extra points to the player with the most non-star cards in their score pile, which includes magnets. If there's a tie for most non-star cards, all of those tied players gain the 3 points. Record your scores from that round, putting the bonus deck back together and reshuffling all the other cards together as well. Then play additional rounds, just like the first, until you've played as many rounds as the number of players. Then the person with the highest total score wins. If there's a tie, have everyone play additional rounds until there's a clear winner. Or you can just have the tied players share the victory. And that's everything you need to know to play Star Catcher. If you have any questions about anything you saw here, feel free to put them in the comments below and I'll gladly answer them as soon as I get a chance. You'll also find forums for discussion, pictures, other videos, and lots more over on the games page at Board Game Geek, and I'll put a link to that in the description below. And if you found this video helpful, please consider giving it a like, subscribing, and clicking that little bell icon so you get notification anytime I post a new video. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can join the Patreon team, which I'll have linked below. But until next time, thanks for watching.